Hello, welcome, and say it ain't so, as it's the spring season finale of the Friday Night Frenzy right here on Channel 3. We are glad you are joining us tonight. I'm Mark Robbins.
And I'm Joe Zone. We started back in September with Friday Night Football. Tonight, we wrap up the FNF season, and we're going to get right to highlights. We got lots of them. Out to Bristol, the Class S softball quarterfinals. St. Paul Catholic, the number 2 seed, 18-2, against East Catholic, the 23rd seed. And St. Paul Catholic in the first. It's a leadoff walk, and then this. Isabella McCullough, a 2-run homer over the left center field fence. St. Paul Catholic has an early lead. Second inning, St. Paul Catholic's Stella Buccino steals second. Great slide to beat the throw. And then she's in scoring position for Peyton Giambria, who laces one to right field. Buccino scores, heads up, play by East Catholic. The throw to second in time for the third out, but the run scores before the out is 3-0 St. Paul Catholic. St. Paul loads the bases in the third. They get a bases-loaded infield hit. Nice hustle there by Liliana McCullough to beat it out. That makes it 4-0. Another run on a bases-loaded error. St. Paul wins it 12-0. They'll play Hell Ray will beat Coventry 3-2. Time to be determined next week.
Class M softball quarterfinals. Seymour's Wildcats on the road in Milford taking on undefeated foreign top of the second. Seymour with the threat. Kyle Testone's grounder the first. The out there, but the run scores. It's 1-0 Seymour. A couple of batters later, Megan O'Hare. The blooper in the short center puts Seymour up 2-0. Remember, foreign undefeated on the season, second seed in Class M. Here come the Lions. Maddie Delden with a drive the opposite way to left. Get all the way to the fence. That'll drive home Savannah Perez. And the lead for Seymour's down to 2-1. Then sophomore Nora Bove with a blast to center. Great effort. That'll tie the game up at 2. Foreign stays unbeaten. Gets the quarterfinal win 4-3. Lions will take on Nanawag in a semifinal next week. The how do you do's and pleased to meet yous between Fairfield Ward and Newtown. Class L quarterfinal. A couple of outstanding pitchers in the circle. Emily Dowd for the Mustangs of Fairfield Ward and Newtown's Maddie Thosen. Each pitcher just outstanding all afternoon, getting a ton of strikeouts. This one scoreless, bottom of the third. Ward with runners at the corners. Martina Kozaraki with the push bunt. Past Thorson, she beats the throw to first. The run scores, and Ward takes that run and adds to it and winds up with a 4-2 win. It'll be Fairfield Ward taking on fellow FCAC rival Ridgefield in a Class L semi next week.
Joe and Mark, there's nothing like the drama of the state tournament to get the heart pumping. So let's keep the softball playoff action rolling by talking about another Class S quarterfinal showdown between North Branford and the Immaculate Mustangs from Danbury. The Thunderbirds came into this game with a 19-1 record on the season, and they were on fire at the plate to start. In the third, North Branford's up 2-1, and here's Alexa Falcione with a bullet right back up the middle. A couple of batters later, Falcione's on third now. Ava Rizchik lays down the bunt. Falcione tries to score, but she is out at the plate. That big play kept it a 1-run ball game until Madison DiStefano steps up to the dish in the fourth, gives that ball its plane ticket, and sends it on vacation over the left field fence for a 2-run homer. The Thunderbirds came out on top 6-1, improving to 20-1 overall, securing their spot in the Class S state semifinals. The girls lacrosse playoffs are kicking into high gear, and the postseason madness continues with a couple of fun games in the Class M Lax quarterfinals. Let's jump in the car, get the Beach Boys on the radio, and get down to the Surf Club in Madison to see Daniel Hand take on St. Joe's. The Cadets are on the move. Lily Recupero ends up throwing that. She takes that contact right there, gets the ball in the back of the net, giving St. Joe's the early lead. The Tigers started roaring later in the quarter, taking the lead on back-to-back goals from Kayla Warnke and Margaret Lavin. Early in the second, the Cadets tie it back up at 2 when Madison Clark found the back of the net. But after that, the Tigers bunkered down on defense. Liliana Gerard was a wall back there in front of the net for the home team, shutting down 2 penalty shots in the second. Daniel Hand's defense led the way, helping them pull away late, getting the job done 11-4. Up next, we've got the Branford Hornets, who are buzzing on their home turf against Ellington. Branford jumps out to the early lead 3-1, but here come the Knights. Emma Bontempo she was in her bag in this game with that low score right there. And then she continued to capitalize on a couple of penalties here. 2 penalty shots back to back. So after falling behind the 8 ball, Ellington's now in control of their own destiny with a 1-point lead. Later on in the second, Layla Kizik gave the Hornets some much needed spark, putting the equalizer in the back of the net. Brantford's offense kicked it into overdrive in the second half, winning 16-7. So Brantford has a date with Daniel Hand in the Class M state semifinals. Joe and Mark, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Dan. How about some gorgeous seating in Milford? For Laurelton Hall, the Crusaders hosting East Catholic Class S girls lacrosse quarterfinal. East Catholic jumping on the scoreboard just 32 seconds in from the free position. Molly Karen has the Eagles excited. After that, though, top seed Laurelton Hall. That is Lily Walker tying things up, and this is not a replay. Just moments later, it is Walker again, about 40 seconds later, making it 2-1. Here comes Laurelton Hall with speed on the attack. Leighton Brady to Emma Mueller. And it's now a 2-goal lead, again, for the top seed in Class S. Why don't we make it a 3-goal game as Leighton Brady takes this one on the dodge herself as the top seed. Laurelton Hall, those Crusaders are moving on 18-9 the final. Next up, Somers in a semifinal game next week. Class L quarterfinals in Woodbridge, home of the Amity Spartans hosting East Lyme. Second quarter, Amity rolling. Free position for Addie Maxwell. Generous feed to Haley Mario. Amity up 9-1. East Lyme trying to fight back in. Callan Keith coming from behind the cage for East Lyme's second goal. But too much Amity Spartans with a future lawyer on the attack. That's Carly Mario to Addie Maxwell as the Spartans are in control. Mario with 5 goals in the first half. That one right there as Amity advances 18-5. Spartans will take on rival Cheshire next week in the semis, Joe.